Hello everyone and welcome to the Commexis Cast Daily, all the news you need to know from our inbox to yours. I'm McGrorty, the videographer and podcaster here at Commexis, and today I'm joined by the lead strategist at Commexis, Phillip.
Good morning.
So our story for today, Blackberry on Tuesday has filed a patent infringement lawsuit against Facebook and in addition WhatsApp and Instagram by extension, arguing that they copied technology and features from Blackberry Messenger. So I'll give you a little info on exactly what they're claiming. They are claiming that Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, which are also named as defendants in the suit, are, quote, relative latecomers to the mobile messaging world. And BlackBerry is seeking injunctive relief and damages accounting for lost profits. No specific dollar amount was given. So just there's a past history of BlackBerry suing companies that they believe have, to some extent, infringed. So BlackBerry sued Nokia in February 2017, alleging infringement of patents related to 3G and 4G wireless communication technology. That case is still pending in federal court in Delaware. And last year, Qualcomm Inc. agreed to pay BlackBerry $940 million to resolve arbitration over royalty payments. So Facebook obviously had a response to this lawsuit. Quote, BlackBerry suit sadly reflects the current state of its messaging business. Having abandoned its efforts to innovate, BlackBerry is now looking to tax the innovation of others. We intend to fight. And that was from Facebook General Counsel Paul Grewal. So first, what do we think about this generally, and then I'll get into a couple specifics of.
Well, I think obviously the patent troll playbook has found its way into the team at BlackBerry's offices. I think it's kind of an absurd assertion, but I don't know how much of, having never used a BlackBerry because I'm not that old. I don't know what they did, that was so revolutionary as far as, individual tools or anything like that. So I don't know exactly what they're alleging is, has been lifted from their technology or their builds or what they were doing. So it would be hard for me to say, unless there was something that was sort of a smoking gun where you can look at it and say, well, geez, yeah, obviously, BlackBerry was doing this and, they copied this directly, or is it just a philosophical issue where, we had a mobile messenger program and now all these other tools have it as well, and so it kind of is probably somewhere in the middle between those two. So I honestly, my take on it would be I have to kind of see a little bit more information, but it seems somewhat frivolous to me. But then again, if they just won $950 million from Qualcomm, what do they need? Yeah,
what I find really interesting about this is the patents that were cited in the lawsuit describe foundational elements of today's messaging service. So one deals with notifications for the total number of unread messages, and other patents address photo tagging and messaging timestamps. So on one hand, I could see the suit if it was implied that maybe Facebook actually took like technology from BlackBerry, right? But when we talk about these, quite basic elements of messaging, I wonder, how deep does the rabbit hole go there? Because when I think of a notification for how many unread messages I have, okay, well, email has had that for a very long time. They're suing Facebook because of similarities between messages, but when I think of Twitter, I think of a notification for how many messages I've missed, whether that's indirect messages or notifications or something like that. So it boggles me only because we're talking about like really base elements that I feel like aren't like copyrighted or quote IP or something like that.
It seems to me almost like these are kind of the basic fundamental features that we would expect from any messaging tool. AOL Instant Messenger had that. Yahoo Messenger had a lot of those same things. And those weren't necessarily mobile apps, but when they did become mobile apps, I'm sure that stuff carried over. So why aren't they involved in this? And why aren't we looking at the app developers as opposed to some? So I think that. Really, this is kind of to me, it seems more like a cash grab than anything else. But, again, we have to look at the language very carefully. At what point, did these features come over and get applied to the mobile platforms, and, how much of that is a direct, copy of what BlackBerry was doing that wasn't something that was happening on the desktop. So I think, to me, the kind of the crux lies in that argument. Was that something that the desktop wasn't doing that is happening on mobile, and did they get inspiration from BlackBerry to do those things? But to me, I mean, I was using Messenger and stuff, AOL and Yahoo and things like that. That functionality was there a lot longer than before Facebook was around. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree, and it also makes me think of, Instagram stories copying off of Snapchat stories, and you could make an argument, when does something become, like, obviously you have to look at the language, when it's become true, like, infringement, because you could argue that those are effectively the same thing, but, you don't see Snapchat suing Instagram, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, just to give you some background, in a past life, I was a game developer. I worked for Electronic Arts for a number of years. I worked on a lot of their massively multiplayer online games on platforms of that nature. And if you're at all familiar with the genre, you understand that World of Warcraft exists, and it's been the biggest thing in the world since then. I was in the industry before that even came out, so I was there to see World of Warcraft succeed, but I was also there to see World of Warcraft succeed using a lot of the same ideas and themes and even some of the same mechanics that other games had done before, but Blizzard is so good at just polishing things and making them better. And to me, it seems almost like a parallel to what we're talking about here, because, again, other games did these things before, but Blizzard just ultimately did them better. And I think that it's there's something to be said for that, because if you do something so much better than the others, are you really doing the same thing, or have you just revolutionized it?
That's a good point. So finally, as I mentioned before, they are looking for damages accounting for lost profits, but also something interesting in a statement that BlackBerry made was almost as if they're seeking a partnership with these companies, even though they're suing them.
Well, it's the only way they're going to continue to make money.
Well, yeah. So the quote from BlackBerry is, "As a cybersecurity and embedded software leader, BlackBerry's view is that Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp could make great partners in our drive toward a securely connected future, and we continue to hold this door open to them." So it'll be interesting, I suppose, to see how that will work. I don't see Facebook partnering with them.
If there's any way to build a lasting, trusting relationship, it's to have that door opened by extortion.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good basis to build on.
Well, that's all for today's episode of the Commexis Cast Daily. Check us out next week for more of the latest trending news. Have a great
weekend.